Today's video is going to be geared more towards beginners and how to level up and rank up your champions in Raid Shadow Legends. We've been getting a lot of new players from the QR code or the link down there in the description. You guys can join us today, get a free epic champion, but I haven't really been hitting on a lot of beginner basics. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about farming your champions. So say you were pulling shards for an event or something, or maybe you just did it just to do it and you got your first legendary, or you got a legendary you want to level up, or an epic that's going to be very useful for your account. These aren't necessarily champions you're going to get, but it's something you've done a little bit of research on. Maybe you've looked on Hell Hades and you've seen that champion is going to help my team out, but how do you get them ranked up and leveled up? You want to get them leveled up and ranked up to 6 as soon as possible, right? Well, the easy answer is you go into the Tavern and you can feed lower level champions, or you can even use potions to max them out. But that's not always plausible. We run out of the potions, we run out of the brews. We can't just constantly feed champions. So how else can you do this? Well, it's farming. It's just like if you're here from Clash of Clans, just like Clash of Clans, you need to farm to level up your base, you need to farm to level up your champions. And generally you do this on the campaign map. Where I prefer to farm is on Brutal, not even Nightmare. I probably could do Nightmare, but Brutal, 12-3 or 12-6. I always do 12-3. I think 12-6 you get more silver if I'm right. But what you do is you find you a strong champion lead, and then you just take in like 3 uncommons, and then you farm them up, and then you rank them up. So we're going to take these 3 uncommons, or if you have rares, but if you're a lower level player, you probably have uncommons. We're going to level these guys up to level 20, and then we're going to use other uncommons to go ahead and rank them up to level 3. So let's go ahead, let's show that process. So we got these champions up to level 20. For every star, it's 10 levels. So a 2-star is up to level 20, 3 stars up to level 30, 4-star up to 40, etc., for the maximum level. We farm them up, and we'll talk about what champions to use for this, because I'm obviously using a legendary champion. That's not going to be plausible for everyone, but I'm going to have an epic champion option for you and even a rare champion option for you to help you farm your champions. Just stick around a little bit and we'll show off those options to help you farm. After you get them to their max level for our uncommons, level 20, we're going to go to the Tavern, we're going to go upgrade rank, we're going to scroll down and find our uncommons, and then all we're going to do is we're going to select that and we're going to feed 2 more uncommons. I personally just always like feeding or leveling up the incubuses, because I always seem to get incubuses when I'm farming. Now, the benefits of farming rather than like using brews or just feeding other champions and stuff is you're going to get a lot of silver. You're going to get a lot of junk gear that you're going to sell. So you're going to get a lot of silver in there. So what we'll do is we'll farm, 3 of these incubuses at a time, or 3 uncommons at a time, which you can get from the green shards. Very easy to do. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to level them up to level 3. And if we run out of food, which I just don't want to use my incubuses, we come back over here, we pop off 10 shards, and we can go ahead and we can get some more food to feed in them. Anytime you're leveling up a champion by anytime you're sacrificing a champion to upgrade a champion, we generally refer to that as food in Raid Shadow Legends. So if you ever hear someone say this is food, or I've even said it in like some of our pulling videos, like this champion's food, that means that they're just going to be going fed into another champion. I guess we'll use our incubuses here just to kind of prove the point here. Not necessarily prove the point, but show you guys what I mean. So we're going to get all of these uncommons up to 3 stars. So essentially, they're on the level of rares now. Now, if we have any rares that are up to 30, we don't. We could just use them to feed in. But I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get these Diabolists up to level 30, and then we'll feed in there. So again, we go to 12-3, and then we go ahead and farm here. I like 12-3 a lot. That's my favorite stage to do it. And again, you don't have to go Nightmare. And if you're working your way up, normal or hard, like just work on it. Just build yourself up. As you get more champions, the more you go. And just kind of sit here and you sell these shields, because they're not going to do you a lot. And you'll get stuff for events, CVC, all stuff like that. You'll get some silver. It's going to work out for you. So let me go ahead. Let's get these leveled up to level 30. So now we've got them leveled up to level 30. We can go back home here and then go to the Tavern. But also another thing I want to touch on is a lot of times you're going to need to do daily quests for this. And there's even one for upgrading champions level in the Tavern. I usually just do a couple commons here. Like I'll just put 3 commons into a normal common, or a 1-star. I don't know. I always just call them commons. But now what we can do is we can go upgrade rank. We can scroll down here. We can find those Diabolists, and we can use some of those champions we upgraded to 3-star. Now we could use our chickens. Don't get me wrong. But not everyone's going to have chickens. That's not the point I'm getting at here today. Not everyone's going to have chickens. That's why we're feeding these 3 stars into 4 stars Now I'm going to use my chickens, but you kind of get the process. Now we have 4-star champions, which we can use those if we wanted to upgrade an epic from 4 stars to 5 stars. But if we want to go from 4 to 5, we need to simply get them going up to the next level. Just for ease here, we'll go ahead and we'll do this 4 to 5 here, and we'll make some 5-star food. So we'll upgrade rank again using those champions we got. I'm actually going to use the chickens here that I have, and that way we can level these 3 up and have some more 4-star food that we can take up to 5-star really easily. So now we have a 5-star food that if we want to take someone from 5-star to 6-star, which is max level, we can go ahead and do that. So for instance, I'm working on Ethos. We can go ahead and we can do that 2 more times, and we can get Ethos up to 6 stars. So that's the process of leveling up your champions, and that's pretty basic, right? Like I feel like that's one of the first things you learn in Raid Shadow Legends, but I wanted to cover that. But let's talk about farming champions. Who are you going to use to farm? Well, for me, my farmer is Queen Ava, a legendary champion. She's very, very strong. I don't have her built very crazy. We'll talk about the build here momentarily, but she has some nice skills. And look, I don't even have her booked up, which is really, really nice. We didn't have to feed any books into her because this is really the only place I use Queen Ava, unfortunately. So what she has is on the A3, sorry, I clicked the wrong one here. Attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter by 20%, but resets the cooldown on each of this champion's skills if the target is killed. So essentially, she's going to pop this, take out the whole wave, and then it's going to reset so that the energy drain is going to be open again. And then she's going to do that again and again and again, and it's just going to take out the whole wave there. Now, we could get more damage out of it, but since I'm just farming in Brutal, I don't feel the need to do that. We could probably go for Nightmare, but I don't mind Brutal. As far as the build, we want her doing as much damage possible as we got her on attack. Now, the crit rate might seem off. It's 84%, but if we look at her aura, she has 19% crit rate in all battles, so she's going to go ahead and help herself out there. Now, as far as masteries, just pretty standard. I don't even know if these masteries are right. They're old. She doesn't need to deal a ton of damage, but this is what we use, what I'm using to farm her out. She's never going to get attacked, so we don't really have to worry about too much defense and hit points. I was more focused about getting this to 81% on the crit rate and then getting the crit damage and the attack pretty high. So that's my farmer. Again, not a great option. Let's talk about some lower options. A great option that is an epic champion is Skull Crown. And what you're looking for on these champions is champions that are going to attack all enemies. So if we take a look at Skull Crowns, well, the passives are really, really great. Passives are really great. But on the A2, attacks all enemies, 50% chance to place a weakened debuff. And on the A1, attacks all enemies, places an extra hit if the target has more than 50% HP. So what you want to do with Skull Crown is just set her to only use that A1, and then she's just going to clear the waves. Now, I don't have her built, but we want her at full crit rate, so 85% crit rate. Let's see, we do have masteries on her here. So let's go ahead and let's build her up here. Let's see, we got Cruel on there, we got some Perception. We got to get a little bit of, what, 33% on the crit rate. That's gonna be a tall task. Let me look through some gear here. All right, so I found a few pieces, and we got her built up. So again, not crazy damage here, 4,300. 101% on the crit rate here, 235% crit damage. Like, that's amazing, right? Like, we want her just hitting hard, but let's go test it and make sure I'm just not talking out of my butt here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna set up a team with her. Now, obviously this isn't gonna be my farming team, but we'll set her up here. And then for Corrupting Touch, we don't really need Corrupting Touch. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and set that to don't use. So she'll just always use Wave of Souls. And then we can go ahead and we can save that. We can click the check, X out of here, and then we can go ahead and put some of our food in here. Let's see, we had what, 4-star food? Yeah, let's put 4-star food in there, and let's just see if that works. It should still work, right? I think it should still work. I don't know. Let's test it out. Let's test it out. Let's see if she does the Wave of Souls here. Oh wait, she does the other one, but okay, so maybe I messed that up a little bit, but it doesn't matter because we just get through there and we clear the waves. So not a hard build there. Even if we don't finish off that last one, our food finishes it off. She would be fine to finish off that last champion there. So Skull Crown is a great option for farming. You might not necessarily get that 9-second, 10-second farm, but even if it's like 15, 20 seconds, you're going to be fine. And finally, let's talk about a rare champion that you can farm with. And I used this rare champion for the longest time to farm with until I got my Queen Ava. It's Bellower. I like Bellower a lot. Bellower is so good. So let's take a look at his skill set here. We have him with attacks all enemies, 75% chance to place and decrease attack. Basically, attacks all enemies is what we're looking for there, but also a chance to place and decrease defense. Attacks all enemies, 50% chance to place and decrease speed, and then attacks all enemies. So all of his skills attack all enemies, and he's very easy to build. This is like my old build on him. Obviously, I stole his weapon here. Let's see if we can get like an 11% crit rate weapon here. And really, like, his stats are not very overwhelming. Like, these are really basic stats. Ideally, we probably have something strong in there. Let's see if we have just something with crit rate here. That's a lot of crit rate. Do we have something? Ooh, that's a lot of attack. That would be nice. What do we need? We need 11 crit rate. I mean, yeah, let's just go with the attack set. Why not? Let's just go with the attack set and let's go test him out here. Let's see if I'm talking out of my butt or not. Where's Bellower? There he is. Let's go ahead and let's put Bellower in. Let's attack. Again, we're on brutal 12-3. Let's see how he does. Oh, look at that. He crushes, guys. So these are 3 options. You don't have to have a legendary to farm. If you're able to build out these champions, you're gonna be fine. I mean, look at that. Bellower does just as well, just as fast as my legendary Queen Eva. I mean, why wouldn't we use a champion like Bellower? He's only a rare, super easy to get in the game, and you can farm to end game status, to late game status. Now, he is a void, I will give you that, and mine is ascended, but trust me, guys, he is very, very easy to build. I'm not just blowing smoke here. This is the champion I used to use to farm, and this is how you're going to get your champions leveled up, upgraded up to 6-star. Now, this process can take a lot of energy, so that's why using those brews could come in handy. Using those chickens can come in handy, because this is a very energy intensive process to get a champion all the way from 2 stars or 3 stars all the way up to 5 stars to feed them into someone else. So it's kind of the basics here today, but I wanted to help you guys out with this. I feel like this is a very important video because we have a lot of new players coming to Raid Shadow Legends. So wanted to throw this one out there for you. It's a refresher for a lot of people. Really, you want to just find champions, especially on that A1, that have attacks all enemies, and you can farm with almost any champion as long as you build them properly. Look and see if they're an attack champion, if they're a defense champion. Look and see what they need, and then build them, get them full crit rate, get them dealing out massive amounts of damage. If you can, book them up, but it's not always necessary. I think my Bellower and my Skull Crown are booked, but again, Queen Eva, we don't need to book her, guys. We don't need to book her. So this is the best spot to farm, in my opinion. Brutal 12-3, Brutal 12-6 are those 2 stages. Hopefully this one does help you guys out. Again, if you want to check out Raid Shadow Legends and get in here and start farming for yourself, scan the QR code, follow the link down in the description. You guys have a great day on Clash Bashing.